All right, welcome back to 11:30, the Tiger LSU weekly podcast. And this week, LSU's on a bye, but this is a much needed bye. Indy, I guess you can say it's a traditional bye now.
Yeah,
as
we always have the
Alabama
bye.
and LSU always have a bye right before they play each other.
I wish Alabama didn't have a bye week before us, but they just do that just to get on their nerves even more.
But as always, I'm joined here with Adrian, and we are going to talk about last week's big win against Ole Miss in Death Valley. Leonard Fournette just going off, murdering someone again, just running people over, and I think setting an LSU record for
Yeah, it was
rushing yards in
the rushing yard record.
And so it was another huge day for Leonard Fournette and the Tigers and Ed Orgeron. So let's go ahead and get started. Adrian, what did you think of this game and how it seemed the whole team just clicked in general, especially the offense?
Yeah, that's what I really felt. It felt like the team itself played great. You know, we had a great second half. We didn't start very well, in the beginning of the game, which that seemed to be like a trend for us. But I felt like this was the first real tough game that Ed Orgeron has had to, go against. First really tough team because Ole Miss they're a really high-powered team. They put up 40 points on Alabama. And so I really felt that our team had to come out and really try to play to win this one. Everything seems like it was set up to be a good night because, it's Leonard's return game. It's a game in Death Valley. I felt like everything was really set up to go our way that night.
Yeah, and like you were telling me earlier, I guess how the way Leonard played Saturday night kind of showed that he really was hurt.
Yeah, that injury really did affect him, yeah.
Exactly. And Fournette going off completely. 284 yards, 3 touchdowns. But what really impresses me is it was only on 16
Yeah, his
carries.
yards per carry, yeah.
Longest touchdown run, 78 yards. He also had a 50.
I think he had a 76. He had 2 70s.
Did he?
And then
Then
I think
he also
a
had a
50.
50-yard touchdown run. And so Fournette had 284 yards. Guys had 54.
On the same amount of carries, by the way.
Carries. But then LSU had 3 other people run the ball for negative yards. See, Etling ran for negative 15.
Yeah.
Chark, negative 14, but they still ended up with 311 total rushing yards.
And I like the fact that we use Chark to run the ball. It creates another dynamic that we didn't have under Les Miles.
Yeah.
So I do like him running the ball.
Yeah, I really like how these past 3 games Orgeron has been with LSU, they have broken an offensive record for LSU. So I think if Orgeron stays, I think he fixes the offensive troubles that were there during the Les Miles era. But I want to go on and talk about how well Danny Etling played. He threw an interception.
Yeah, it was an underthrown pass, yeah.
But just 19 for 28. It's not bad, but he managed the game pretty well, with opening the run game for Fournette.
Yeah, I feel like his passes were really, the ones he did complete, they were really on point. Like, he was fitting him to only his receiver could get it. Yeah. And showed a little bit of maturation.
And going into next week against Bama, something I think is going to be crucial for LSU and also what they have been fixing was their quarterback issues with Brandon Harris and Jefferson. I forgot his first name. Quarterback for him. Jordan Jefferson, yeah. Sorry. And just how Etling seems to be more of a patient person in the pocket. He doesn't try to scramble. He doesn't try to run.
Wait, you're thinking of Anthony Jennings.
Am I thinking of Jennings?
Yeah, Jefferson was in 2011 and 2012.
That's right. But regardless, I think Etling, is going to be the X factor against Bama with opening up the run game for Leonard Fournette, because with Alabama's defense, as you can see last year,
I don't feel we can run the ball 36 times against them.
No, you cannot. With you're gonna have to open up the passing game against Alabama. As you saw last year, all they tried to do was run it with Fournette. Mm-hmm. Fournette, I think, was held for
19 carries, 31 yards.
31 yards. That's right. I knew it was something.
It wasn't good.
Insanely serious, but so I think Etling's going to help solve that problem, and. When I went and saw his first start, my first thought was I'm not sure because I've never heard of this guy.
That was a Jacksonville State game, right?
Yeah,
that was the second week.
He started off pretty good, and then he started going downhill, and there was a lot of talk. But then the Missouri game, whenever Geis had an insane game, but that's the same thing
Was the Missouri game Orgeron's first game?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So yeah.
And
so.
guys having that crazy game with I think the reason, just like with Fournette, was he was able to spread open that that Missouri defense, and
it opens the offense up.
Yeah, and I'm not sure they'll be able to do that with that Alabama defense that well, but I think
I've said all year, if you want to beat Bama, you got to throw it down the field at them.
Yeah, yes, but I think I don't know why. I just have a feeling this game is going to come down to special teams.
Which
I don't know why.
Normally LSU always have that over Alabama special teams.
Well, at least field goal kickers.
Yeah, definitely field goal kickers
is definitely a huge advantage. But let's talk about how well LSU's defense played. They gave up 21 points, but they did shut down who I think...
That was all in the first half, though,
yes.
Also.
But I think, in my eyes, Chad Kelly is probably the best quarterback in the SEC, I guess you can say, overall-wise.
Yeah.
And
I know some people want to try to throw Jalen Hurts into that conversation.
Well, he's definitely deserving that.
Yeah.
He's killing it right now. Hurts is at Bama. But Chad Kelly, self-proclaimed best quarterback in the nation. But definitely
some other people proclaimed it too.
Yeah, but definitely one of the best quarterbacks in the SEC. 19 for 32, 209 yards, a touchdown, and 2 interceptions, with one of them being a great interception by Tre'Davious White and Jamal Adams taking out two defenders at once. Do you remember that?
I don't know. I think I might have been at work during that part of the game. I know he had the fumble. That was in this game, right? The one where he recovered his own fumble that he caused?
Yeah, but you see, but LSU's defense played so well that they only gave up a total of 116 rushing yards, and their leading rusher, Ole Miss, was Chad Kelly with 56. And I think Orgeron has definitely just flipped his team around. I don't know why I'm getting a phone call, but then also I see it being, as Orgeron is, I think he's put more focus on that offense to change the offense.
Oh, definitely.
That it's definitely taking pressure
off the defense, yes.
And they are playing outstanding right now, which is why I think LSU could still win the SEC. And I say that confidently, but
we still need a couple things to go our way.
Definitely. Like, you're going to have some luck to get past Alabama. Like, you're going to have to play it. LSU's going to have to play a near perfect game to beat Alabama.
That's why that's one thing I did want to point out. I like that we got turnovers this week.
Yeah.
You know, but I think we had two. I know we had 2 interceptions. I want to say we had a fumble too. Okay, well it says we do have one, but I'm not necessarily sure. But like it's good to see us causing turnovers, because especially against Alabama, you have to be able to cause turnovers. You got to get the ball, and you have to protect the ball yourself.
Yeah, and a thing about Alabama is they always capitalize on turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
That's something Nick Saban has basically built his program on, is get turnovers and basically capitalize on that. So I think with that being said, I do have a good feeling about LSU coming in. I think it's because they have this. We got
this like swagger about us right now.
They have the Ed Orgeron swagger. Because if you see Ed Orgeron on the field at Tiger Stadium, he walks around like he owns the place. And I think he knows, like in his own head, he thinks he's got this job on lock.
If he wins in 2 weeks,
I think if he beats Bama, he keeps it. But if he doesn't, I think he can still keep it.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessary for him to win that game, but it'd be a major boost in confidence.
Yeah, but I've had some. I was doing some thinking about this LSU hiring. If Ed Orgeron doesn't stay, I think that there needs to be one person considering. I have not heard his name called once, and that's Clemson's defensive coordinator, Brent
Venables.
Because one, he's an amazing recruiter. As you can see when he was at Oklahoma, Bob Stoops.
I know you're probably pretty partial to him.
Yes, but I'm still mad that Bob Stoops or Venables left under his own will to go to Clemson, because Bob's brother Mike got fired from Arizona, and I guess you're not going to let a brother hang out to dry. So basically, Bob Stoops fired Brent Venables and got his brother back, which was the most awful thing in the world, because his brother let Texas Tech put up 800-something yards on him. But Brent Venables went to Clemson from the first year till now, which was I think 3 or 4 years ago, he has built that Clemson defense to what it is now. And I would love to see what Venables can do as a head coach. And I think LSU would be a perfect fit for how the defense already is. But my question mark for Brent Venables would be, how is he going to handle the offensive side of the ball, which has been LSU's problem the past
For decade. Yeah.
So, but I think that would be a great hire because he's just one of those coaches who's got that swagger. Oklahoma players, I know for a fact, just hearing them say they came to Oklahoma not to play for Bob Stoops, but the defensive players came to play for Brent Venables. Mm-hmm. So he's definitely built championship defenses, not winning championship defenses, but teams that got to the championship.
Yeah.
And then Bob Stoops just ruined it all. But that's a name that I would like to see in the conversation. I'd love to see him in Baton Rouge. I'd love to see him actually get a head coaching job.
Yeah.
And he kind of fits the Ed Orgeron, I guess you can say, profile. They both have voices where you have to listen very carefully to understand what they say because, I know Ed Orgeron because he's from Louisiana. He's kind of got that Cajun thing. But he's also got a deep, raspy voice. Venables, I think, has just lost his voice forever because of how much he screamed. And but that's someone I'd like to see come to Death Valley. I think he would be a great addition. If not,
I actually like Orgeron.
If anything, I know LSU's got the money because I know he's not getting paid a lot at Clemson. I know LSU's got the money to bring him.
Oh yeah.
To Baton Rouge because I think all these job openings coming up and no one's saying Brent Venables. And that's
true. I've never heard his name tossed around for any of them. Exactly. Everyone's looking at Herman. Some people look at Fisher every now and then.
Yeah, but that's someone who I think is going to be a great hire wherever he goes. He's going to be a head coach one day. I know he will be. But let's go ahead and talk about the matchup between Alabama and LSU next week. Just a small part. We'll have a podcast next week about this.
Yeah.
But let's just go ahead and give us your X factor for that week. Like I said, I think it's going to be Etling and special teams on the sole fact of these past LSU Alabama games have been punt returns, kick returns, field goal kickers.
Yeah, before the A&M game, they had after the Tennessee game, they had exactly as many offensive touchdowns as defensive and special teams touchdowns.
Yeah. And I know defense is going to be a huge part in containing Jalen Hurts because how elusive he is. But I think the way that they are now, they got the swagger, they got the confidence that they will.
It's in Death Valley.
But I think it's going to be the fourth quarter defense is going to be the biggest problem for LSU to keep because it never seems like
because Alabama's been running away from teams in the second half.
They so have played so much better second half. So that's my worry is how well the defense plays in the fourth quarter because it seems like the LSU defense kind of gets tired in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, because we play so aggressive.
Exactly. So kind of just keep Alabama in arm's length until I'm not saying not go hard, but keep them arm's length because they don't start off very fast. Really, they usually don't. So basically, I don't know how to put it, not to make it sound bad or weird, to basically not play as hard until the season.
Yeah.
It sounds weird, but
don't play hard just yet. Just give it a little bit.
Exactly. Yeah. Just jog around, do whatever. But that's what I think is going to be a main point for LSU is definitely their defense late in the third and fourth quarters. So what's your X factors?
My X factor. I'm not going to go a player. I'm going to say ball control because we've seen the past 2 weeks against A&M and against Tennessee that when Alabama gets the ball, they don't even need to put their offense back on the field. Their defense can take it to the house. And our offensive line has got to play the way they've played the past couple weeks, especially how many NFL players Alabama has on that defensive line right now. We have got to be on our top of our game with, I think, our pass blocking. I think we're going to be able to get some rushing done just because they're going to be expecting us to try to fire it at them.
Yeah. But, all right, man, I'm actually really excited. I really am excited for this week in college football. It's a big week.
When we do that podcast, by the way, don't ask me for a score for that game. That's the one game I cannot give you a score for. I don't even want to pick a winner. I just want to watch that game.
All right, man. I'll try to make sure not to do that. Hopefully, John's with us next week. That'll be a good thing.
He'll definitely want to talk about that one.
Exactly. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining us for the 11:30 the Tiger podcast. We got a new Facebook page, so go like us on Facebook. It's 1130 the Tiger KWKH. We're just going to rebrand our Facebook page, I guess. We are trying to, freshen it up a little bit. So go ahead and go follow us there. You can follow us on Twitter at 1130 the Tiger. Also on YouTube, subscribe to us there. And thank y'all and have a blessed day.